Chapter 1. The Dark Lord Ascending, in which Snape reports to Voldemort the plans of the Order of the Phoenix to move Harry Potter from number 4 Privet Drive. Voldemort takes Lucius Malfoy's wand. The Death Eaters gathered in Malfoy Manor make fun of Tonk's marriage to Werewolf, and Voldemort kills Charity Burbage, the erstwhile Hogwarts Muggle Studies teacher. 4/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 2. In Memoriam, in which Harry is preparing to leave Privet Drive, emptying his school trunk, and packing a rucksack with the items most important to him. In the process, he also sorts through the newspapers of the past few weeks to reread and save Dumbledore's obituary. At the end of his packing, he notices an interview in the current day's paper in which Rita Skeeter is talking about her upcoming tell-all biography, The Life and Lies of Albus Dumbledore. 4/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 3. The Dursleys departing, in which Vernon Dursley is reluctant for the family to flee Privet Drive on Harry's say-so. Harry explains the situation again, and Dudley talks sense. 4.5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 4, in which Mad Eye arrives with Ron, Hermione, and various Order members in tow, announcing a change in plans. 6 of them are to use Polyjuice Potion to act as decoy Harry Potters, while 7 act as protectors, which each Protector Potter pair heading to a different safe house. Upon getting airborne and splitting up, all of them are attacked, and Hedwig is soon killed. Harry gives himself away by using the disarming charm, and he and Hagrid barely escape with their lives, crashing into the Tonks' back garden. 4.5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 5. Fallen Warrior, in which the survivors make their way to the burrow, learning that Mad Eye was killed in the fight and George Weasley severely hurt, while Mundungus fled. Harry then has a vision of Voldemort torturing Ollivander, seeking to know why using Lucius Malfoy's wand did not solve the problem of being unable to defeat Harry Potter. 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 6. The Ghoul in Pajama, in which Molly Weasley loads Harry, Ron, and Hermione up with wedding preparation chores in an attempt to stop them from making plans to leave, while Ron and Hermione prove to Harry that they understand what's involved in accompanying him, and taken steps to protect their families from retaliation. Hermione reveals that she has researched the problem of destroying Horcruxes using books stolen from Dumbledore's office. Fleur's parents arrive for the wedding, and simple plans are made to celebrate Harry's birthday, which falls a day before the ceremony. 4/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 7. The Will of Albus Dumbledore, in which it is Harry's 17th birthday, and Rufus Scrimgeour arrives to deliver the bequests of Albus Dumbledore to Harry, Ron, and Hermione in an attempt to pump them for information. 4/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 8. The Wedding, in which Harry, disguised by Polyjuice Potion, attends Bill's wedding to Fleur, where he meets Xenophilius Lovegood and Ron's great Aunt Muriel and re-encounters Victor Krum and Elphias Doge. Thanks to Krum, Harry remembers who Grigorovich is and learns that Xenophilius is wearing a symbol associated with Grindelwald, and thanks to Muriel's gossip he hears more about the Dumbledores. The party is broken up by the arrival of Shacklebolt's Patronus, warning the guests that the Ministry has fallen and Scrimgeour is dead. So the Death Eaters are coming. 4/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 9. A Place to Hide, in which Harry, Ron, and Hermione flee the Death Eaters by apparating to Tottenham Court Road. Hermione's handbag turns out to have hidden depths, and they go to a Muggle cafe to plan their next move. Dolohov and Roll arrive, they duel, and after cleaning up Harry recommends hiding out in Grimmauld Place. 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 10. Creature's Tale, in which Harry explores more of Grimmauld Place, finding a letter from his mother in Sirius' room, then discovering that Sirius' brother Regulus was the mysterious RAB. Hermione remembers seeing the locket 2 summers before. Harry calls Creature, and Creature reveals that while he took the locket, it was then taken from him by Mundungus Fletcher, and explains how it came into Regulus' possession. Harry then asks Creature to find Mundungus, and bring him to Grimmauld Place, and wins Creature's loyalty by giving him the false locket for his own. 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 11. The Bribe, in which Lupin seeks out Harry, Ron, and Hermione at Grimmauld Place, and offers to accompany them on their quest. But Harry refuses, recognizing that Lupin is seeking escape from complications in his personal life. Creature returns with Mundungus, who reveals that Umbridge took the locket from him as a bribe for not turning him in for selling magical artifacts without a license. 4.5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 12. Magic is Might, in which Harry, Ron, and Hermione, after weeks of planning, ambush 3 Ministry workers, assume their identities, and sneak into Ministry headquarters. To their horror, they learn that Ron has taken the identity of a man whose wife is about to be interrogated about her blood status, and who faces a sentence in Azkaban for being a Muggle born with a wand. 4/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 13. The Muggle-born Registration Commission, in which Hermione accompanies Umbridge to court, while Harry breaks into Umbridge's office to find Mad Eye's eye mounted on her door, while inside she has a file on Arthur Weasley and a copy of Rita Skeeter's book. Harry retrieves the eye and heads back downstairs to the courtroom, where he and Hermione stun the Ministry workers, take the locket, and release the prisoners, telling them to go into hiding. They collect Ron and attempt to return to Grimmauld Place, but must abandon it when they realize they've accidentally brought a Death Eater with them into its protections. 4.5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 14. The Thief, in which Harry, Ron, and Hermione have apparated to the old Quidditch World Cup campgrounds, Ron having been splinched in the process. Hermione treats Ron's injuries, and they set up camp, whereupon Harry has a vision of Voldemort interrogating Grigorovich, and realizes that Voldemort is searching for something Grigorovich once had but which was stolen by a young man long ago. 4/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 15. The Goblin's Revenge, in which Harry, Ron, and Hermione spend weeks moving from place to place, failing either to destroy the locket Horcrux, or to think of a lead to find the others and squabbling with one another. In frustration, aggravated by the Horcrux's poisonous influence, eventually they stumble across other fugitives, a party of Muggle-born wizards and goblins on the run, and learn that a fake has been substituted for a Gryffindor sword. They then question the portrait of Phineas Nigellus, which Hermione hid in her bag, and learn that the sword should be able to destroy Horcruxes. Ron, his self-control sapped by the Horcrux, then loses his temper, and leaves. 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 16. Godric's Hollow, in which weeks pass while Harry and Hermione, the heart gone out of them with Ron, concentrate on finding a lead to the sword's location. At Christmas time, Harry asks to go to Godric's Hollow for personal reasons, and Hermione agrees for quest-related reasons. After planning carefully, they appart into Godric's Hollow in disguise, and visit the graves of Harry's parents. 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 17. Bathilda's Secret. Leaving the cemetery, Harry and Hermione see the Potter's old house, then encounter someone who appears to be Bathilda Bagshot, but does not speak, until she gets Harry alone. Too late, Harry discovers that they've been led into a trap, and that Bathilda's corpse is being used as a disguise for Nagini. He and Hermione manage to escape, at the cost of Harry's wand being broken accidentally by Hermione. Chapter 18. The Life and Lies of Albus Dumbledore, in which Hermione gives Harry a copy of the Life and Lies of Albus Dumbledore that she picked up in the Bagshot house, and they learn that the young man in the picture was Gellert Grindelwald, who according to Rita Skeeter was very close to Albus Dumbledore for a brief period when they were young, at a crucial period in both their lives. 6/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 19. The Silver Doe, in which Hermione apparts with Harry to the Forest of Dean, where Harry, keeping watch late at night, sees and follows a patroness in the form of a silver doe to a frozen pool, at which the sword of Gryffindor lies. He is nearly strangled by the locket Horcrux's chain when he dives to retrieve it, and is saved from drowning by Ron, who has been shown the way back by the Deluminator. Ron then confronts and destroys the Horcrux after Harry commands it to open in Parseltongue. They return together to camp, where Harry has to protect Ron from Hermione for a while. 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 20. Xenophilius Lovegood, in which Harry and Ron bring each other up to date on their adventures. Hermione finds a triangular mark in a photograph of one of Dumbledore's letters, and the trio seek out Xenophilius Lovegood at his home. For further information about the mark, 3.5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 21. The Tale of the Three Brothers, in which Xenophilius Lovegood explains that the symbol is the symbol of the Deathly Hallows, and that the origin of the story is the tale of the three brothers, which Hermione then reads aloud. Xenophilius then explains the symbolism of the symbol, and discusses the Hallows. Harry, wandering around the house, notices that there is no sign of Luna having been present for weeks, then confronts Xenophilius. Xenophilius then reveals that the Death Eaters took her, and he plans to hold Harry, Ron, and Hermione until they arrive, so that he can trade them for her. Harry, Ron and Hermione manage to escape while making it clear that Xenophilius wasn't making up what he told the Death Eaters. 4/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 22. The Deathly Hallows, in which Harry becomes obsessed with the Hallows, particularly the stone, which he realizes is hidden inside the snitch that Dumbledore left him. Ron takes over the hunt for Horcruxes. Then Ron finally manages to pick up a Potter Watch broadcast, from which Harry, Ron, and Hermione learn that Voldemort is out of the country, and Harry deduces that Voldemort is looking for the Elder Wand. Harry then accidentally says Voldemort's name aloud, which breaks their protective enchantments, betraying their whereabouts to a gang of snatchers. 4.5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 23. Malfoy Manor, in which Hermione disguises Harry's appearance with a jinx just before the Snatchers kidnap all three of them, and take them to Malfoy Manor. Unfortunately, the Snatchers recognize Hermione, and find the sword, so the subsequent questioning at Malfoy Manor soon takes a grim turn. Hermione is tortured by Bellatrix, who wants to know how they got the sword. Harry uses the broken two-way mirror to ask for help, and Dobby appears. Dobby helps Ron and Harry rescue all the captives at the manor, which includes disarming Bellatrix and Draco, but in the end Dobby is fatally wounded by Bellatrix. 6/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 24. The Wandmaker, in which Harry buries Dobby and regains perspective, putting the Horcrux hunt above the Hallows quest, though he realizes where the Elder Wand is and that Voldemort is about to get it, as well as that there is probably a Horcrux hidden in the Lestrange's Gringotts vault. He first asks for Griphook's help in breaking into Gringotts, then asks Ollivander about the Elder Wand before telling the others that Voldemort is stealing the Elder Wand from Dumbledore's grave. 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 25. Shell Cottage, in which Griphook agrees to help break into Gringotts in exchange for the sword, which he considers to be rightfully Goblin property, and Harry and Ron agree in bad faith, planning to retain it until Horcrux hunt is over. Lupin arrives to announce the birth of his son, and to ask Harry to be godfather, and Bill takes Harry aside in the confusion to warn Harry against breaking faith with goblins. 4.5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 26. Gringotts, in which plans and preparations being complete, Griphook accompanies Harry, Ron, and Hermione to Gringotts, hiding with Harry under the cloak while Hermione poses as Bellatrix, and Ron assumes a false identity. By using various spells to interfere with the minds of Gringotts staff members, they manage to reach the level of the Lestrange's vault before various defenses are set off against them. They manage to obtain the cup from the vault, then escape by releasing the dragon guarding the most secure vaults, and helping it break out. 6/5. Chapter 27. The final hiding place, in which Harry, Ron, and Hermione spend most of the day riding the dragon, only to get away from it near sunset. Harry has a vision of the theft being reported to Voldemort, and realizes that they are running out of time. Voldemort now knows that they are after Horcruxes, and they have to get to the Hogwarts Horcrux before he does. 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 28. The Missing Mirror, in which Harry, Ron, and Hermione return to Hogsmeade, are pursued by Death Eaters, and are rescued by Aberforth Dumbledore, who advises them to give up their quest, and explains why he doesn't blindly trust his late brother's judgment by telling them the true story of the life and death of Ariana Dumbledore. 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 29. The Lost Diadem, in which Neville escorts Harry, Ron, and Hermione through the passageway from the Hog's Head to the Room of Requirement, where Dumbledore's army recaps the situation in Hogwarts, and the Ravenclaws tell Harry about Ravenclaw diadem. Luna escorts Harry to Ravenclaw Tower to look at its representation on Ravenclaw's statue, and Electo Caro ambushes them in the Ravenclaw common room, 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 30. The Sacking of Severus Snape, in which the Carrows are tied up. Voldemort learns of both the theft of the locket Horcrux and Harry's arrival in Ravenclaw Tower. Snape takes a short break. McGonagall rouses the castle. Many alumni arrive to help defend Hogwarts from the Death Eaters. 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 31. The Battle of Hogwarts, in which McGonagall orders the evacuation of those underage, or who do not wish to fight. Voldemort delivers an ultimatum, and Harry learns how Voldemort acquired the diadem. Ron and Hermione return from destroying the cup, and together Harry, Ron, and Hermione go to the Room of Requirement to destroy the diadem. There they encounter Draco Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle, but his former henchmen no longer answer to Draco. During the subsequent duel, Crabbe unleashes Fiendfire, which destroys much of the room's contents and kills him. Harry, Ron and Hermione escape, rescuing Draco and Goyle in the process. They then encounter Percy and Fred, dueling Death Eaters, only to be caught by an explosion that kills Fred. 6/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 32. The Elder Wand, in which the battle continues, but Voldemort remains with Nagini in the Shrieking Shack, awaiting Harry and brooding on the Elder Wand. He reaches a conclusion about the latter, and sends for Snape while the trio make their way to him under the invisibility cloak, only to arrive in time to witness Snape's murder and receive some of his memories. A final message. 5/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 33. The Prince's Tale, in which Harry, using the pensieve, learns of his mother's childhood friendship with Severus Snape, that Snape's worst memory was of how they became estranged, of how Snape became Dumbledore's agent, and that he himself was accidentally made a Horcrux on the night his parents were murdered. 7/6 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 34. The Forest Again, in which Harry, having learned that he himself was turned into a Horcrux when Voldemort killed his parents, goes to keep his appointment with Voldemort in the Forbidden Forest. Along the way, he makes sure that Neville knows about Nagini, then retrieves the Resurrection Stone from the Snitch and uses it. Upon reaching Aragog's Web, where the Death Eaters are now camped, he permits Voldemort to use the killing curse on him without attempting to defend himself. 7/10 yellow 5-pointed star. Chapter 35. King's Cross, in which Harry awakens in what seems to him to be King's Cross Station, where he encounters a fragment of Voldemort's soul, now powerless, and Albus Dumbledore, who explains what has just happened. Harry has to choose between going on or going back, and chooses to go back, in which Harry awakens in what seems to him to be King's Cross Station, where he encounters a fragment of Voldemort's soul, now powerless, and Albus Dumbledore, who explains what has just happened. Harry has to choose between going on or going back, and chooses to go back. 6/5 yellow 5-pointed star. The flaw in the plan in which both Harry and Voldemort regain consciousness in the forest. Harry plays dead, and Hagrid is forced to carry Harry's body up to the castle, where Voldemort displays him to the defenders in attempt to break their will to resist. Neville confronts Voldemort, who body binds him, and puts the sorting hat on him to make a point. Neville pulls Gryffindor's sword out of the hat and kills Nagini when Voldemort is distracted by the arrival of the centaurs, the battle resumes, and Voldemort is finally defeated by Harry, 6/5 yellow 5-pointed star. Epilogue in which Harry, Ginny, Hermione, Ron, and Draco are all putting their older children on the Hogwarts Express, 4.5/5 yellow 5-pointed star.